Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best small forwards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM here on this tier list. But before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 20,000 subscriber mark on the channel. We hit 18K a couple days ago, working towards 20K, trying to hit it by the end of February. That might be a bit of a stretch goal. I mean, we need like 1,900 subscribers, so it's going to be a while, but would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe if y'all are new to the channel. And yeah, excited to get into it. If there's any small forwards that I left off the tier list that y'all would like to hear my thoughts on, feel free to leave a comment and I'll let you know where I'd put them. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting off with Dennis Rodman, who is very, very solid. A defensive small forward who's not incredible offensively, but dunks the ball really well. Does have great shooting badges, but not a great release. So he's a good card. I would say he is A or B tier. I'm not certain which, honestly, I'd put him in right now. I think I'll go low A for right now. He's a great budget card for 42K MT, but I do think there are several better shooting small forwards still. So I would say it's I don't know, A or B. Really, I think you could debate either one. S tier for sure for Adam Morrison. Adam Morrison's movement is absolutely exceptional. I mean, he's one of the very best dribbling. I think actually he is the best dribbling small forward in the game, bar none right now. So nobody better at dribbling the ball than Adam Morrison right now in this game. So he is. I'm not maybe not in the game, but at the small forward position specifically, his release is also very smooth, easy to green. It is Jerry West upper, which is not a good upper on Steph base. So the standstill release is a little slower than you'd like because of that upper being bad, and also that does affect the fade. It slows it down. But still, with the way he moves and how complete he is, as well as the ability to get every single badge and how good of an overall card he is, that's an S tier small forward in my opinion. I like AK a lot, but I don't think he's S tier. I think he's A tier. I think that's totally fair. I also do think Rodman is going to wind up getting moved down to B tier because I just don't think he's as complete as AK. AK can put the ball on the floor at a pretty high level and slash through him pretty effectively as well, which is something that I am a fan of. And obviously, he's one of the most complete defensive cards in the entire game. So me personally, I'm a big fan of what AK can give you on the defensive end of the court. It's a card you're going to play against a lot, and he's one of the best defensive cards in the game, obviously. So obviously, very, very good card, even if he's not the most insane offensive card in the world. I mean, he is good, but his release obviously is not incredible. But overall, I do still think he's one of the better small forwards in the game because of that defensive capability. And yes, he is solid offensively too. Carmelo Anthony, like A or B, honestly. I would say Carmelo's good. Offensively, he's got an elite release. He moves quite well, although he doesn't have speed booster, but still great shooting badges as well. He's an awesome offensive card, slashes really well. Defensively, he is mediocre, I'll be honest. But I think he probably does enough offensively where I'd say he's an A tier small forward. I like the card. I think he's good. I think A tier is fair. I'm going to put Grant Hill B. Solid release, but he doesn't move at an elite level. His defense is good, but not insane. He's not an unbelievable card, but he's a good option at the small forward position. I think B is fair. Jarris Walker, his release is bad. He is pretty complete badge-wise, but unfortunately, the release keeps him from being like a great budget card. And I think when you compare him to the small forwards on this list, he is one of the worst. So D tier is probably fair there. I like Tatum a lot. I think honestly, he might even be A tier. He's definitely top of B. I like Tatum. I think he's probably a little better than Rodman. His release is definitely better than Rodman's. Also, movement's a bit better than Rodman's. Defensively, maybe not quite as good, but still a very good defender. I think Tatum's a very good card. He's still very complete. A card that a lot of people are using at small forward. A lot of people like, so I like that card as well. I think Jeremy Grant's probably C. He's good defensively. He's pretty athletic. He's not awful as a shooter either. Like Jeremy Grant's actually a pretty decent card. Not a card you're going to play against a ton, but not an awful defender. He's got decent speed, decent shooter, pretty good slasher. He's not an insane card though. I wouldn't say he's on the level of most of the small forwards in this list. So I think C tier is pretty fair there. Jimmy is definitely better than the guys we have in B tier. I don't think he cracks S or anything, but I do think he is a very, very good option at the small forward position. I would say he is definitely an A tier guy. Shooting guard or small forward, really at both positions. You're probably gonna like what Jimmy Butler gives you a lot. I think he's a very, very solid card. Carl Malone is definitely S tier in my opinion. Not a huge fan of the guy off the court, but regardless, in my team, he's great. And the fact that he can play small forward does actually probably make him even better. He's good at power forward as well, but he's got a nice release. He's a great defender. Really versatile, elite slasher as well. Very good size at small forward. Really, really good, versatile small forward option. I think Keegan Murray is honestly pretty mid. He's a recent card, but I don't think he's very good. Bojan Bogdanovic is another one of these pretty recent breakout cards that came out. Also don't think he's great. I didn't even put him on the list, but I think Keegan is D. Great release, but he doesn't do much else on the court. I just don't think he's on the level of most of these top tier guys. KD, I will give very back of S because he is 6'10". He is really versatile. He can get every badge. He's a really nice complete card. His release is a little bit on the slower end, but it is a high release and it is still pretty smooth. His fade to the left is awesome. He's a pretty good shot creator. He's a really good card. I don't think he's top 3 at the position, but I do think he's top 5. I like KD at small forward. I think Odom is fine, but he's 6'10", he can get every badge, but he's just not that complete. His animations aren't that incredible. His stats are like very average, mid-80s on pretty much everything. I don't think he's an exceptional card at all. I'm going to give Larry back of A. I like the card. He's actually a decent shot creator. Well, not an awful shot creator, at least. The ability to get every badge is nice. He's great defensively. He's versatile. His release is certainly baited, but he does have obviously incredible shooting, stats, and badges. So I like Larry. I think he's a good card. I think A tier is fair. Braun is S tier. I still probably, well, I'm looking at this list. There's two guys left on this list that Braun and KD are both, that's so debatable to me. You know what? I'm putting Braun A, I think. Base Braun is just not on the level of a KD. If you have a Braun with a bunch of extra Hall of Fame badges, I think he probably is. He might even be better, but a base Braun or in just slightly badged Braun, I don't think is better than KD. They're close. Kind of depends on whose release you prefer. I actually think I might prefer Braun's a little bit, but KD's a little more versatile of a card. They're both great cards, and I think they're both pretty similar level. You could put them both S tier, and I wouldn't argue with you at all. Luol Deng is good. I mean, he's better than the guys that I haven't beat. I'm just realizing this list is just very top heavy. I feel like I have to move some guys out. Like, I don't love Grant Hill. I think he's probably going to go C, and I don't love Odom either, so I think he's got to go C. They're the cards that I dislike the most. I'm going to move Jimmy down a tier as well because at small forward, he's not quite as hot. I think that's probably a little bit better there. Luol Deng is very complete badge-wise. A lot of key gold badges and stuff. He's 6'9". He's a good defender. He's got a good release. Not an incredible shot creator. Good all-around card, though, but nothing too ridiculous. OG Anunoby, great defender. Really nice release. Just a 3 and D. Athletic as well. Good card at small forward, nothing special, but he's one of the better amethysts in the game. Paulo Banchero goes high A. Really like the card. He is a slightly worse Carmelo Malone in my opinion. I really do think he is very good though. I think A is very, very good for him as well. Honestly, everybody A tier and up I think is really good. Even the B tier guys, I like them all a lot. Even the C tier guys, not bad cards at all. The small forward position is deep and gives you a lot of good options to use. Although Pippen is probably the best of them right now. I think Pippen is the best small forward in the game. He does actually have pretty good movement. His fade is awesome and his release is absolutely elite, not to mention the fact that he's 6'8" and an incredible defender. Great slasher. One of the most complete and versatile cards in the entire game. One of the best cards in the game. Pippen is a dog, and he's definitely S tier. Sterling Bailey is also definitely S tier to me. I think he's probably your second and third best small forward in the game. Really good release. That Romeo Langford base is awesome. He's great at the 3 or the 4. He's a super versatile defender. Can guard 1 through 5 at a really high level, which is nice. Also an elite athlete. And combine that with a great release. Even though he's not the best playmaker in the world, I think he's a really, really good card. Zion is going to go D. Zion sucks. Bad release. I think he's one of these 3 worst guys with Jarris Walker and Keegan Murray. And I think this is a pretty fair tier list. Obviously, got 2 extra cards in S through B than I do in C and D, but I think it's a pretty good, pretty balanced tier list. And I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on the tier list in the comment section down below. Let me know who y'all think I maybe put too high or too low, or like I said, if there's anybody I left off the list that you'd like to hear my thoughts on, feel free to leave a comment about that as well. But that is going to do it for today's video. Hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.